Okay, so we're working on this 2010 Mercedes GLK 350, and it has a weird problem with the traction control ABS. I've got it temporarily in the rolls mode, dynamometer test mode, which you can get into by turning the key on and pressing this button and the OK button simultaneously for about 3 seconds, as long as the odometer, trip odometer is displayed. Now I've got it in that mode and I'm looking at wheel speed sensor data, so we're going to go for a road test now. And you'll notice both front wheel speed sensors. Got a glare behind some trees here. I'll try to get a better spot. Got signals from both front wheel speed sensors, but no signals from the rear wheel speed sensor. The interesting thing is that both front signals are dropping out, and I don't know if that's a normal glitch or if that's an actual glitch in the speed sensor signals. It just seems like it seems random, but I'm not sure if it is. Let's change this custom data list and just pick one of these sensors. Deselect them all and just put the left front and graph that. That should speed up significantly faster. Still seems like it's random. Now, I was testing the speed sensor on the left rear. According to the information in Identifix, it shows that it's a magnetic pulse generator with a spec of 800 to 2300 ohms, yet I measured 3.8 or 3.6 million ohms across it, and it doesn't produce any kind of a signal when you spin it. So I'm kind of confused that this has got digital sensors, or think it's got digital sensors, and the service literature is incorrect. So I'm going to stop this video. So I've restarted the car, and I'm going to go through the procedure here. There's the dynamometer test. So I'm going to turn it off now by using the buttons. So dyno test is off. I'm going to disconnect the scan tool, because when you're scanning this vehicle's ABS system, it disables the anti-lock brakes and traction control. I'm going to stop communication, and it says switch the key off. Make sure that it stops communication with the PCM. Switch the key on. Alright. So other than the run flat indicator message and the service exceeded by 1900 kilometers, no more ABS light on or traction control light on. But watch what happens when I drive this thing. It's putting the front brakes on as soon as I hit about 10 kilometers. It thinks the back wheels are not turning and the front wheels are spinning due to the missing rear speed signals, and it's going into a traction control phase. It actually stops the vehicle. I can't accelerate it. So I'm going to have to put it back in dyno mode to get it back home now. Okay, took about 10 attempts of holding down the call pickup button and then the OK button for about 3 seconds, but you have to start with the odometer and trip odometer displayed. Now there's warning messages. This thing has a license plate light out, a left marker light out, run flat assist problem, and the service exceeded by 1900 kilometers. So all these messages keep popping up and interrupting this. But once you get in there, you can use the arrow down button to select dyno test mode, and it says off when ignition is off, and it says press OK to change. So it's enabled now, and then we can use the return button. And now when we start the vehicle, turn the key off and back on and start it up, you'll see the message that EBD, ABS, and ESC is unavailable. And then we get all our other messages: check tire pressure, then run flat, and that, and the rear side marker lamp, and the service exceeded by 1,900 kilometers, and so on. So we're going to leave it enabled. And now we should be able to drive the vehicle without the traction control going mental on me, as you can see. Runs fine, so gotta fix the ABS. So more work on this 2010 Mercedes GLK 350. Attempted to road test it after fixing the variable cam timing issue, and it went into traction control and tried to apply the front brakes at about 10 miles an hour. ABS data shows no speed signals from the rear speed sensors, so the rear speed sensor is plugged in and I don't see anything wrong with the harness, but trying to do some tests on the rear speed sensor and getting conflicting information. Service information says the speed sensor resistance can be tested, yet the Snap-on Vantage Pro under tests suggests signature test and frequency test. And when I go to the signature test, it shows a digital signal, and this very well could be a digital sensor, two-wire digital sensor, in which case it's not tested resistance wise, yet that's what's in the service literature. It says 800 to 2200 ohms, yet when I put an ohm meter across it, it's well over 4,000, as you can see. In fact, if I go up to 4 million, it reads 3,570,000 ohms. So either this is a digital speed sensor and we're testing it incorrectly. It's a pain in the ass to get to. You have to take the inner fender skirt out because the harness runs in and plugs into this connector body in the inside the wheel well behind the wiring harness, or behind the inner fender skirt. So I tested all the 4 speed sensors, including the 2 front ones that work at the ABS unit, and I couldn't get any resistance measurements, which leads me to believe that the service literature explaining how to test resistance is incorrect. So now I'm confused.